Welcome to this showcase of how to mix beats, or at least how to mix a beat with a sample in it. Um, I had somebody in my Discord ask me if I can show them this technique and how to mix the beat. So make sure you check out the Discord in the link in the bio, and let's get into it. First and foremost, I already have a beat created here, as you can see. Nothing is mapped out, everything is on the channel rack. I felt like I've added all the sounds that I wanted to add on the track. So I'm gonna go ahead, or the channel rack, I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you guys so you can hear what we're working with and you can hear where things are out of sync and not mixed. So from that preview, I can already get some ideas as to the first and foremost. The 808 is hitting the limiter, it's punching the wall, and it's creating distortion, which is disturbing other sounds within the mix. Also, the percussions have their own low end frequency that's causing more disturbance to clash with the 808 and push the 808 towards the ceiling. And there's other sounds that you can't hear because it's buried under the low end. So being that it is a sample, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the sample and how I will mix it. So you want to make sure that your sample is assigned to a mixer bus, mixer channel, which I have here. And I have some pre-mix here. So I took the low end out. Probably could take a little bit more out. Open up a parametric EQ. See, there's still some more low end. Check that out. The treble is a little low, so we can turn it up just a smidge. And that's really it. We can turn it down and mix a little bit too. Do like that. So, as you can see, it wasn't too much, nothing too crazy. I got a gross beat here just in case I want to half time it. But that's effects, so we just mixing right now. And then after I mix the sample, I usually try to organize my channel rack, which is probably the best thing you should do if you're beginning. This will save a lot of confusion, a lot. So like, say for instance, most producers create kits and they name them all type of wild stuff. So I would just make sure I go back and put everything where it goes. Like, this is the 808, I'll rename it 808, so I know that's the 808. If I use the kick or a clap, let's see, where is the clap at? Well, we found the kick here, so we'll go back and then we'll throw it up there. We'll just name it kick. And this is if you're a beginner and you're trying to establish some organization so you know what you're doing. It's best to just take your time, organize your sounds, so when you do try to learn how to mix, that way you know where everything is at. So I'm gonna go ahead and run through this and then we'll get back to it. Oh, not to mention, when you're organizing your sounds, this is a great way to find sounds that you aren't using, because we'll add a lot of stuff to the channel rack that we aren't using and it's just in the way. So you want to make sure you get rid of that stuff and then you can see what's being used. Another tool that you can use, you can go up to the top right here, and you can click this. No, I apologize. You go to the top right here, you click this one, and you'll be able to see all of the sounds that are being used within the channel rack. Instead of going through and trying to decipher through the pattern to see which one is highlighted, you just go to the top, boom, click here, and you can see all the patterns. So alright, so those are all the sounds. I'm still got to do the organization, so alright, so now that we organize all the sounds and we know what they are, we know what they look like. I mean, you can add colors to them, you can do all kind of stuff like that, but I'm gonna just leave mine simple for right now. The reason why I'm telling you to do this is because when you take them from the channel rack to the mixer channel, they'll already be named pre-existingly. So as you can see, I'll go ahead and highlight all of these. I'll right click, route, select the channel starting from this track. And now you see all of the sounds that we just renamed are corresponding with the sounds in the channel rack. So that way when you mix, you know what it sounds like, you know what it looks like, you know what it's named, and you know where it's at. So let's get to the mixing process. We already mixed our sample, so we'll move on to the 808. So usually, typically with the 808, how I mix the 808, I wouldn't do too much. I'll just make sure that my sounds are leveled in the mixer, and mono it. I really wouldn't do too much, but I mean, I have been experimenting with other VSTs and things like that. So if you want to check out this VST that I'm about to show you, you could join our Discord at Dim8s, and feel free to take a look and see if it's something that you're interested in. So you still want to make sure that the low end doesn't clash with the 808. So I'm gonna play it together. So as you hear, I gotta like going back and forth a little. And it doesn't sound too bad right now. But still, we want to make sure at the end we can still turn this down and still be able to hear them both not going against each other and keeping it under 0 dB. So what we're gonna do, we'll open up a parametric EQ, and then we'll turn down some of the sub on the kick. And we only want to keep like that bass portion, so we'll turn up the bass a little bit, make it a little punchy. And you know, this is all flavor based, depending on if you want your kick to sound more boxy, more boomy, more crunchy. So each scenario will be different, so you gotta do it by ear. So I took some of the highs out because I kind of wanted to match with the 808 a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these three down. If you listen to headphones, you might want to turn your headphones up. So you can see the kick is punching just a little bit more than the 808 just to make a presence. But if you go to our master channel, our 808 sounds good, our sample sounds good so far, and our kick sounds good, and we're not passing 0 dB. We don't want to squash our sounds by using a limiter or a maximus just to turn it down. We'll get into that. So we'll move on to the perc, which is like I use the perc instead of a clap on this particular beat. Usually a clap would be here. And it sounds pretty open. So for this, I mean, what I'm thinking about as far as the track sounds like a relaxed kind of trap style beat, real open. So what we'll do is for right now, I'll enable the send from Perc to insert 14. So we'll click on the insert, and for right now we'll mute it. We'll go back to the Perc, throw on the parametric EQ, take the low end out so we're not flashing anything. Go down to the equalizer here, do it again. And now you can hear a difference. Now it sounds more crisp, more sharp, and that low end isn't dragging its tail. Now if you're looking at the equalizer, you can see that the sound is pushing more to the right and less to the left. If you want to have them both equally sound, you can just turn it on mono, and it'll be down the middle. If you want to be creative, you can open it up, and that way it'll be stereo. But being that we're gonna add some effects, I'm gonna leave it how it is for right now. So we added our parametric EQ. I think it sounds good. You can make some slight adjustments. Turn up that treble a little bit. Like that. See, now that we turned up the treble a little bit, you see on the equalizer, now the left is just a little bit more than the right. So as you mess with it, the sound dynamic will change very little and also drastically at the same time. So you can see our mid is kind of punchy because it is a perc. So we can turn it down a little bit. Or we can turn it up. Actually, I'm gonna turn it up because I think that cone boxy kind of sounds better with this sample. Turn it down overall. There we go. Not too much, not too little. Mess with the volume a little bit. somewhat close to bass. They have a low frequency too. So you want to make sure that doesn't clash with the 808. I think they sound, when you use tones and 808s, I think they sound beautiful together because it still keeps the, I guess like a Caribbean kind of sound or just a more authentic sound, as well as using 808s. So what we'll do, we'll throw another parametric EQ. I'm probably gonna throw parametric EQs throughout the rest of these. So as usual, we want to take out the sub. The reason why we take out the sub is because nobody is using subs unless you're in a vehicle or you're at a club. You don't have a sub on your phone. You probably don't have a sub in your studio. So it's best, if you want the best mix, to take out the sub. Because if somebody is listening to the track in the car and they do have a sub, it'll carry its own with their equalization and their setup and however they have, their situation. So the tone sounds good. We got a little bit of bass in it. We'll turn up the low mids. We'll turn up the high mids. Like that. So we don't want it to be too sharp because we do got a perc. So we want the perc to be more sharp rather than tone, and keep the tone more of a, have like a more of a filter. Turn it down. More. So yeah, like that. The reason why I turn it down less than the perc, and a little bit less than the 808 is because if we're thinking about the character of the song, we want the tone to sound like it's trying to reach for the forefront, and like as if it was in the background, and as if it has reverb, which it doesn't have any reverb on it. Always make sure you save throughout your process. Then go to the second tone. So this tone is a little weird, a little different from the other one. I don't even know if that's a real tone in real life, but we'll go ahead and mix it. That was the name of it, so that's what we named it. So we'll take the low end off again. Sounds good like that. Yeah, I'll just do a roll off on the low end. Pull that down. Yes. So do it like that. That way we aren't clashing with anything. Now all of these sounds are mono, so I may stereo this one. Just like that, we stereo shape it. That way when the tone plays the first tone is more mono, and then the second one is more stereo. That way, although they're similar, they're not, clashing. So let's go to the third one. This one sounds like a gong tune, but don't mix this too. Don't parametric EQ. Now see this sound, let's pause real quick. This sound, it has more low end than any other frequency in the parametric EQ. So if we turn on just the sample and the bass and that sound, the tone 3, the reason why it sounds well without any mix is because I don't have them playing at the same time, but you can hear that the tail of the gong tune does create like a slight disturbance when the 808 comes in. quick. Sorry about that. That's actually the producer that just hit me up about creating this video, so I'm gonna give him a shout out. Shout out to Icy. But, let's continue. So, since we have this sound that has more low end than high end, we're gonna go ahead and take out the high end. Even though it's not there, we'll make sure where it happens, do it on the equalizer too. And then take out the sub as usual. Right? Now what you want to do is you want to go to the actual sound. You want to click on it, and you want to take out. You want to trim the out. Trim out the out right until the sound fades out for the next sound to come in. That way, it's not when the next sound comes in. It's not creating no buzzing, no scratching, nothing. Just nothing. That way it's just seamless. And we can actually put a little bit more sub in it since we did that. Just a little bit more. Turn up the bass a little bit. Turn down the sound. Beats ain't gonna be the same, so it's gonna vary depending. You gotta. I feel personally, you gotta mix towards the creation of the sound that you're going for, and the style and the character of the song, versus saying, "Oh, this is how something should be because this is the category that it sits in." So my bad. Let me turn that part down just a little bit more. So let's move on to the hi-hats. Hi-hats is a high spectrum, it's high in the frequency chain, it's high, just high period, so there's no lows, so we can just cut that out off the jump. Cut that out. You do the way I do it. If you have your own technique of cutting out highs, you can do that as well. I mean lows, you can do that as well. So, with hi-hats, I don't think there's too much mixing to be done. There's a lot of effects that can be done versus mixing. So, I mean, if you want it more sharp, you can turn up the treble. More sizzle on it, you can turn up the treble. So I guess for this track, we'll turn up the treble a little bit. And we'll make a mono and turn it down. Mind you, we don't have any effects taking place. This is just all mixing technique. There's no effects as far as flangers, choruses, reverbs, transients, no nothing. So that's pretty low. So let's move on to the next hi-hat. So this hi-hat, we're gonna pretty much do the same thing. We'll put this parametric EQ up, turn it down, turn on the bass and the funk. And then at the very highest treble, around like, let's see, around like 18 let's move on to the third hi-hat. We're gonna do the same thing again. Take out the low end and go back. Double check. I ain't take out the low end on the equalizer. Do that. Let's go back. Back to the third one. Take out that low end again. Turn that down. And this one, we do got the treble pretty high, so we're gonna move this over. And we're gonna flatten it out. So that way it's not passing this 0 dB. Turn it down a little bit. And you see it's playing in the left stereo more than the right, which is fine. You can change it by moving this knob to the left or the right. So for the demonstration of this video, I'm gonna do that. So let's equal it. So about right there is good. So let's move on to the cymbal. Now, cymbals are a real sound in the drum set, so they should be equalized as so, as well as all the other sounds that we equalized. So we're gonna go ahead and take the lows out again. And I have a parametric EQ. I told you, throughout this whole thing, we're gonna have parametric EQ. Not necessarily, we don't have to use parametric EQ all the time. You could just use the equalizer, but double that because we want to make sure that we really get rid of that low end. Really making sure that there's no extra excess. Trimming the fat, you know. So as you hear the cymbal, it's clashing, it's playing. We want to turn up them highs on that cymbal. Got that sizzle on there. Turn it down. Mixer. And there it is. So we'll move on to the shaker. Now the shaker is close to a hi-hat. It's in that same spectrum, that same area of mid to highs. So we do the same thing again. Put that parametric EQ on there, take the lows out. Moving on up, and we ain't gonna do nothing. Just gonna leave that like that. We're just gonna turn it down and match the level with the rest of the sounds. But sometimes all the sounds don't need to be mixed, you know? And then we get to the next one, which is the last percussion in the track. So this percussion pattern was a little bit more creative. I think it was more experimental. I never really heard somebody play a percussion like this. But let's go ahead and mix it. We're gonna add that parametric EQ. And this one it has a lot of bass in the Perc. And the highs kind of roll off, so we're gonna turn up the highs. There you go. Take off the lows at the end. And then we'll go back to that Perc. So this is an effect that I'm gonna create. This is not the premise of this video, but since I used a perk instead of a clap, where usually a clap would be, I want to add maybe a delay. Add delay 3. And then we'll turn it down. Turn the feedback down. Turn the volume down a little. So if you want to learn more about adding effects to your beat after you mix it, you can check out my video. I have videos as to where I break down better ideas as far as adding effects to your drums, your drum loops, your drum sounds, your drum patterns. But for the most part, cut that off. And as you can hear, all the sounds are leveled, and we aren't passing 0 dB. That's what's most important. You don't want to pass 0 dB because when you add your sound to social platforms, it's gonna crush your sound down. It's gonna sound smushed. You play it on the phone, it's gonna sound distorted. You play it on speakers, each set of speakers you play it on is not gonna sound the same. So you keep it under 0 dB. No matter where you play it, it's gonna have the same vibe, it's gonna have the same energy and the same frequency. So now that we mix it, this is the mixing portion of the video. If you want to check out the structure part of this video,